Hello and welcome to today's trauma-informed yoga practice. Today's practice is going to be a trauma-informed practice safe for people who are hypermobile. If you have Ehlers-Danlos or other forms of hypermobility, this is a class that can be helpful for you. So you can grab your yoga mat. It might be handy to have a pillow or a block or a bolster to sit on. So you can grab that if you have it, and we'll get started. I invite you to start in a seated form today. Any way that you would like to sit, I will be sitting cross-legged, but you can sit however you would like. And if you would like a pillow, a bolster, anything to lift the hips up, if that feels more comfortable for you, feel free to do so. I'm Adriana, a trauma-informed yoga instructor and physiotherapist, and I will lead you through this trauma-informed yoga class for people with hypermobility. So I invite you to ground into the moment. However you are sitting, notice the sit bones on the ground. Perhaps notice the legs on the ground. Take a second to relax the jaw or the neck or the face. And I'll be starting today's practice moving through some gentle seated cat-cows, if you would like to follow along with those. Taking your hands on your knees if you're sitting cross-legged, or if your legs are straight, placing your hands on your thighs perhaps. And from here, gently rounding throughout the spine, slowly coming back to a neutral spine and gently lifting the chest up to get a stretch the other way. And we're just doing small movements throughout the spine here. If you are hypermobile, you most likely have more mobility. And with that, that can mean that you can move through a wider range of movements. And sometimes that is great to do, and other times we don't want to push through the wide range. So find the range that feels comfortable for your body. We'll just do a few more of these wherever you are. Rounding and arching throughout the back. And when you're ready, coming on to the hands and knees. Now, if you would like the pillow or the bolster that you have underneath the knees or underneath the wrists, if that's more comfortable for you, feel free to do so. Trying here not to lock the elbows so you can have a gentle bend throughout the elbows. Moving through some core activation here. Couple different variations or movements. You could lift one arm as high as feels comfortable and then back down. Other arm as high as feels comfortable and then back down. Once again, keeping that gentle bend throughout the elbow. Lifting one leg behind you is another option. And then the other one, trying to keep that back nice and long. And then a third option would be to lift opposite arm and leg. So choosing the version that works best for your body. Can do a few here, relying on those muscles to start the activation, not the joint, not the ligament. And if you feel like you need a break at any point, feel free to take one. Maybe checking in with the neck, seeing if it's nice and long. Doing one more of whatever version you have chosen. And then you can come up onto the toes, leaning your body backwards slightly, taking your hands onto your knees and just gently resting here for a moment. Making your way up to standing, however you would like to get there. Working through some activation of the legs in standing, I invite you to take the left leg, bring it a little more forward, keep the right leg behind you. Working into a high lunge here, so you can bend the front knee. This back leg, keep a gentle bend through the knee. Once again, so we're not relying on the ligaments to straighten it. If you can straighten the knee and you feel like that quad muscle, the muscle at the front of your leg, is really the thing that's working to straighten the knee, then feel free to do that. And if keeping that back leg up doesn't feel good, there's always an option to go down. So whichever version you're deciding here, holding for 3 breaths. And if you want the arms up, you can have the arms up or perhaps resting on your hip. One more breath. Amazing. Taking that back leg, bringing it up to the front. I'll face this way so you can see a little better. Moving into tree on the left leg. So really rooting down through that left foot, spreading those toes nice and wide, pushing that left foot into the ground. Gentle bend through the left knee. The right foot can either rest beside the left leg, on the shin of the left leg, or perhaps up on the thigh of the left leg. So any version, any variation that you feel like you have control of that left leg today, that the knee is not locking. Balancing here for 3 breaths. 2. Last one. On your next exhale, lowering that right leg, moving into lunge on the other side. So now the right foot is forward. That left leg is going to go back. Same as on the other side, bending through that front leg. Back leg, micro bend through the knee, unless you feel that quad muscle is the thing that's keeping the leg straight or coming down, low lunge. There's no right or wrong version to choose. Everyone's body is different. Mobility and hypermobility is a spectrum. So you can choose the version that works best for you. One more breath. Exhale, bringing that back leg up to the front, moving on to tree on this side. Spreading the right toes, pushing down. Left leg either rests gently beside the right one, on the right shin, or up on the right thigh. Gentle bend through the right leg. Arms can rest down, rest out, come to heart center, wherever feels good for you. One more breath. On an exhale, lowering that leg down and making your way to your stomach. You can move through a flow with me, or you can join me on your stomach. If you're joining me through a flow, gentle bend down. Once again, micro bend through the knees, keeping them soft, rounding through the spine, just resting the hands. If you can go further, perhaps just leaving the hands there today. Bringing the legs behind you, resting the knees down on the ground, slowly lowering to the stomach. Making your way to a baby cobra here. So hands are resting up by your face. Pushing up through the forearms. Gentle lift of the head, looking straight in front of you. Exhale, coming down. You can rest the head on the hands in front of you for a second if you would like. And if a Superman shape is calling to you today, you can join me in that. Bringing the legs up at the same time, you can bring the arms up above the head, or arms can rest down by your side, whatever feels better. One breath here. Exhale once again, lower down, perhaps resting the head on the hands. One more Superman if you would like. Legs go up, squeezing them together. Arms go up or down by your sides. One nice inhale, exhale. and lower. And you can rest on your stomach for as long as feels needed. Whenever you're ready, you can join me on your back. A couple more shapes on the back today before closing the practice. Working through different leg lifts here. So you might keep the knees bent and march back and forth with the legs. You might keep one leg bent and straighten the other leg up in the air. You might decide to bend both the legs, lifting them up and dropping them down to the ground. Finding the version that calls to you today. Working on a little bit of core stability. Movement throughout the lower legs. Wherever you are, doing one more. And then resting however feels comfortable. You might bring the knees to chest to get a gentle counter stretch here, counter movement, rocking side to side. Maybe you straighten one leg out and you keep one knee bent, keeping a gentle bend on the straight leg. Switching to the other side, gentle bend in the straight leg still. And finding that final resting shape that calls to you. Knowing that yoga is a practice and it'll feel different every day. That our bodies can feel different every day. So regardless of how much you participated, it was enough. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. You can lie here and rest as long as you would like. I'll see you next time.